This lesson is about mean, median, mode, and range. This is just a basic overview of what these four concepts mean. So first of all, starting with the mean, another word for mean is average. So you will hear those two words used interchangeably. Somebody could say find the average of these numbers, or they could say find the mean, and you would be doing the same thing. So the mean is computed by adding all the numbers together and then dividing by how many numbers there are. So if you take a look at this example, we have these numbers listed here, 2, 5, 9, 3, 5, 4, 7. Okay, so there are 7 numbers there. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is add all of those numbers together. So you can see that right here, 2 plus 5 plus 9 plus 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3. It doesn't really matter what order you add all those numbers together in. Okay, so here they're out of order, but you just want to add all those up, and then whatever answer you get for that, you need to divide by 7. Okay, so when you add all those up and divide by 7, that means the mean is 5, or the average is 5. Moving on to median. The median of a set of data is kind of like the middle. Okay, so we're going to use the same set of numbers right here. So 2, 5, 9, 3, 5, 4, and 7. The first thing that you want to do is put those numbers in order from least to greatest. So that's what we've done here. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 7, 9. Okay, they're in order from least to greatest. Then you're going to determine what the median number is. And I like to do that by actually crossing off one number from each end. So I would cross off 2, and then I would cross off 9. And then I would go back and cross off 3, and I would cross off 7. And then I would cross off 4, and then I would cross off 5 on the other end. And that leaves me with 5 in the middle. Okay, it was the only number left in the middle. So that means your median is 5. Now here's a different set of data with an even number of numbers. Okay, so we are going to put them in order first of all. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 9. Okay, if we follow that crossing off method, so we've got 2 on the end, 9 on the end. 3 comes next, and then 5. You'll see that we have 2 numbers left in the middle. You have 4 and 5 left in the middle. Now, to find the median of those, you're basically taking the average. You have to figure out what is in between those 2 numbers. So for this, it's kind of obvious, right in between 4 and 5 is 4.5. But if it wasn't so obvious, you would add up those 2 numbers, just like you're finding the average of them, and then divide by 2, because there's 2 numbers. Okay, so that is another way to get 4.5. So there's 2 different ways that you might need to find the median. It will either be the only number left over in the middle, or if there's 2 numbers, you find the average of those 2 numbers, like in the second example. Moving on now to mode. Mode means the most. Okay, so the number that occurs the most often. Okay, there are many different kinds of modes you can have. You could have something with no mode. So in that last example that we were working with, no, sorry, that doesn't apply. Never mind. If there was no mode, that means all the numbers are listed the same number of times, like they're all just listed once or twice. They're all listed equally. Okay, here's an example, going back to our original example of data, where there is one mode. So we have 2, 5, 9, 3, 5, 4, 7. You can see that 5 is listed more often than any of the other numbers. It's listed twice, right here and right here, whereas all the other numbers are listed once. So the mode is 5. In the next example, 2, 5, 2, 3, 5, 4, 7, you can see 2 is listed twice and 5 is listed twice. That means there's 2 modes. 2 and 5 would be the modes, and you would put both for your answer. And then in this last example, 2, 5, 2, 7, 5, 4, 7, there's 3 modes. 2 is listed twice, 5 is listed twice, and 7 is listed twice. So those would all three be the mode because they're listed the same number of times as each other. You could also have no mode, like I was saying, where none of the numbers are listed more than another number, and for that answer you would just say no mode, and that might happen. All right, the last one is range, and the range is just the difference between the largest number and the smallest number, okay? So if we're looking at our same example here from the beginning, it's helpful if you can put them in order from least to greatest, because then it's very obvious that 9 is the biggest and 2 is the smallest. So that would have a range of 7. You're just subtracting 9 minus 2. I will also put the notes that I'm going over right here on Schoology as a PDF. So if you want to look back without watching the whole video, you will be able to see that as well.